Hello there. Welcome. Good morning. It's a Friday. Yes, indeed. TGIF, as they love to say.
Thank God it's Friday. You're welcome to Breakfast Central. We are together again. Hopefully, we will keep your morning engaged, entertaining, but most importantly, informative.
Yes, indeed. Good morning. Once again, my name is Olisa Chukuma.
To join the conversation and let us know where you're watching us from. Use the hashtag #NCBreakfastCentral. You can also follow us on all social media platforms at News Central TV. Our website is available, www.newscentral.africa, for all the latest news stories and lifestyle information. Download our News Central TV mobile app. You can do that from the Play Store and iOS.
Well, yes, indeed, it's Friday, and here are some of the things to expect on the program today. Now, we have some news stories to keep you up to date with what you may have missed from last night, early this morning, and we'll have the morning tea where we'll look at the papers and headlines from across different parts of Africa. Then we'll head for our conversation today. We'll be looking at how the pots and pans you use every day to cook could negatively affect your health.
I was reading up on that, and it's going to be an interesting conversation. Trust me, you need to stay for this one. But that's not all we have. We have sports stories. Olisa will be giving us some updates on that. Hopefully, one of us from the sports team will be able to join in. For entertainment, we have Amal, who has updates of all that's coming on in the entertainment world. Our timelines are also on. Trust me, it's always fun.
It's a Friday, so let's get jiggy with it. But first of all, some news that you could use. And we're starting in Djibouti, where voting has started in the country, where President Ismail Omar Guelleh is seeking a fifth term. Now, according to an election observer, Abuna El Fassi, the polls have been peaceful, and more than 200,000 voters are expected to cast the ballot in the exercise. Now, President Guelleh, who has led the country for 22 years, is projected to win in a landslide, with a major opposition parties boycotting the election, terming it as a sham.
The sole competitor is a little-known former army officer turned businessman, Zakaria Farah. The strategic tiny nation in the Horn of Africa has a population of less than 1 million people and hosts several military bases for world powers, including the US and China. Now, more than 14% of Djiboutians live in extreme poverty. This is according to the latest figures from the World Bank.
All right, so that's a bit of news you don't get to hear every day.
Sit tight leadership that don't want to hand over to someone else. You can't be the holder of all wisdom. You're the only person that can make life better. That's not true. No one person is indispensable. It doesn't matter how good you are.
Well, at least people are hearing about Djibouti right now, even though you're talking about a long-term president who looks like he might get another term in office. Right then, let's go straight to Uganda. This is quite a disturbing one there, because police have rescued 29 Burundian girls and arrested 5 suspects involved in a human trafficking racket in the East African country. Now, police spokesperson for Criminal Investigations Directorate there, that's Charles Twine, says the girls were rescued while in transit to other countries for sex trade.
The police spokesperson says the suspects will be arraigned in court to answer to charges of human trafficking. He also says trafficking of girls is one of the dehumanizing crimes associated with sexual and labor exploitation. Well, we won't hear the end of this conversation around human trafficking. Let's see what happens with
Burundians.
That. Yes, quite unfortunate.
In Uganda, and they were being taken to another country via another route. So the police...
It still happens today. Quite unfortunate.
Intercepted. Okay.
All right, let's head to Egypt now, talking about fighting terrorism. Egypt and Uganda have signed a memorandum of understanding on intelligence sharing to fight terrorism in Eastern and Northern Africa. Uganda's military intelligence chief, Abel Kandiho, said the agreement will see both countries share resourceful intelligence on a regular basis, which is key to combating terrorism and other crimes.
Well, Sameh Sabah El Doegui, head of the Egyptian delegation currently in Uganda, underscored the importance of cooperation between the two countries. Now, the Egyptian delegation is in Uganda for a 4-day visit on this one, on how to combat terrorism within both of their countries and indeed the general African region, as it were.
This one is interesting. Kenya has unveiled a firearm factory located in Kiambu County. Now, President Uhuru Kenyatta said the ammunition plant would manufacture small arms with plans to expand to mid-range firearm production in the next 5 years.
Well, the President Kenyatta said the plant has already shipped about 12,000 assault rifles. Wow, and that's the president there brandishing his own. Well, he also said Kenya joined the arms manufacturing trade to reduce importation costs, adding that the desire to locally produce, ammunition customized by Kenyan security operations necessitated the project. And Kenyatta added that he's optimistic that the country will be a regional and international small and mid-range firearms supplier.
He also said plans are underway to expand another ammunition plant in another part of the country. Kenyatta said 60% of the components used in producing the 12,000 assault rifles were sourced locally.
All right.
While I am happy that we have something like this, we have to be self-sufficient, I'll be more enthusiastic if I hear that we are investing in getting our vaccines for COVID-19 and not waiting for handouts. At least we're making an effort. We know that one African country, I'm not exactly sure now, South Africa is in. But the morning tea for now. Let's take a look at the papers making rounds across the continent.
All right, so there's lots to look out for this morning. North, south, east, west. Well, clearly, News Central is the best. So where do we start from, Felicity? Anywhere you want to go, I will follow.
Please follow me to Nigeria. Let's start from home, basically. The Punch newspaper is up. Sadly, kidnap epidemic. Gunmen abduct 18 in Ogun, Oyo, Rivers, Imo, Katsina. There's more. Kidnappers whisk Ogun doctor nurse away. Enemy expresses concern. Imo monarch is also in. 5 traditional chiefs, 2 palace guards. Katsina abducted man's corpse found after payment of ransom and the family mourns. News Central is actually working on a series. Hopefully we can get it out in time to amplify, because when we talk about people being kidnapped, we just look at it he was kidnapped, okay, maybe he was rescued or he died. But what really was the experience like? I'm hoping we'll get that out for you soon enough on News Central Television.
Kidnap epidemic is what the Punch have used to describe the situation now in the country with rampant kidnapping in different parts. All right, though, there's also a picture there. Delta community is threatening to shut down oil firm over massive spill. So that's a front page picture of real spillage in some regions of the Niger Delta. All right, so we can still stick with Nigeria. We're going to the Daily Times to see what they have. The Daily Times in Nigeria. Straight we go to that paper, and it says a clash of forces, interest in Ishekiri land. There's war in Warri over Olu's throne. Recently we had the passing of the Olu of Warri, which is in the southern parts of Nigeria. And interesting, the man at the far right there, I think he's part of the people that have gone in for it.
Yeah, the person in the middle is actually the person that was said to have been crowned as the Olu of Warri. But there is a controversy around it. They're saying that the kingmakers picked him in spite of the controversy surrounding who becomes the next Olu of Warri. We're hoping that it doesn't really, let's not take that word war literally. I'm hopeful that it's not going to involve any loss of life and they will do what is needed.
I'm actually pinning. That's the NFF president on the right with the suits and the tie.
Yeah, I think he's from Delta State, so he probably has a huge stake in what goes on around there. That is a brewing situation, and we're hoping that the Delta State government and the federal government will not allow things escalate to the point where any life will be lost.
It's
yes, we appreciate our culture and all of that, but let's not get carried away.
All right, from West Africa, let's segue down south quickly to the Sowetan to see what they have for us this morning out there, the Sowetan front page. And, well, it's all about lotto fraud, it says. I had no idea Dr. Toomey was involved. So a bit of controversy there. It says, man shocked that charges he laid led to the arrest of famed gospel musician for alleged fraudulent use of MPO's name to obtain funding from the National Lottery Commission. All right, so more on that on page 3. And also beside that, how about that for a Friday morning front page spread? Says, Metro gig, a decade-long dream come true. All right.
Okay, there's something at the very top that we might miss. Just beside the masthead, the Sowetan, you're looking at pro-Hitler lecturer probed. I'm definitely looking to read, why is Hitler's name coming up? You need to read that story. It's on page 11 of the Sowetan.
And they say there, know your place in vaccine queue, so that you have it. So vaccinations going on in South Africa. Social distancing perhaps also applied as they carry on the exercise. We're still in the south, we're going to Central Africa. The Guardian Post in Cameroon. That's where we'll go next for the morning tea this morning. And interesting.
It's a screamer there. Let's take the one in green first. There are a few screamers. Court humiliates Ndudo over Ntubao Njirong land dispute. Of course, at the top, you have government risk losing IMF funding over failure to restore Anglophone crisis. To resolve, rather, Anglophone crisis. Let me take that just one more time. Government risks losing IMF funding over failure to resolve Anglophone crisis. There's a rider to it. BIA's non-invitation to African Investment Summit likely linked to feet-dragging attitude in resolving the Anglophone crisis.
All right. Francophone Anglophone crisis in Cameroon. That story really gets me every time. All right, let's go straight to East Africa. And there's one in the Daily Nation. That's in Kenya to see what they have for us. The Daily Nation in Kenya. So it's Raila and Ruto on the front page once again. It says Ruto meets Raila man. That's what a head-to-head spread. It says coalition, a potentially huge political undertaking is on the cards following talks between Deputy President William Ruto and ODM Deputy Leader Wycliffe Oparanya, where an alliance was reportedly suggested on page 6. So it's all about politics ahead of the next elections. And really, this men just keep on featuring, especially when it comes to BBI out there in Kenya.
Yeah, we're talking about weapons plant, and we're also on this. There's an interesting picture just underneath. You can see it. On the one hand, Kenya adds to its weapons plant with 4 billion shillings factory. On the other side, we have chronology of debt, how we found ourselves here. You find all of the details on page 4 and 5 of that paper. Yeah,
so for the president, they want to start producing mid to long-range firearms and all that. It's just a huge sigh there. So where do we wrap it up?
Let's go to the Chronicle.
All right, so that takes us back to South Africa. Too much fizz, I have to say. But we'll run that quickly. Electric shock says no power to treat transformer thief. And quite a shocking one there.
No, he has. It's his human rights. It's his human rights. I don't think they should. It's his human right, basically.
All right, so there you have it on the front pages this morning, right here on Breakfast. And Lisa and Felicity. A quick breather will do for us. When we come back, you might just want to bring out your cooking pots.
Yes, we're talking about how to cook safely. It's not about the deliciousness of the food you're going to eat, but the utility, the material you use in making it. We have an expert in the house. Stay with us.
Okay.
We all love a well-prepared meal. We all love to eat. That's what keeps us going, just like...
Especially on Friday.
Exactly. You can just go extra mile, go to the market and get a lot of stuff. But what happens with what you cook with? Are you putting more troubles into your body? or you're actually nourishing them.
All right, time to bring up the spick and span pots and pans, you have to say. Now, did you know that the pots and pans you use every day could be negatively affecting your health? Well, we think we are eating healthy and living healthier simply because of what we cook and prepare for ourselves and our families. But many of us don't consider the tools we use to prepare those meals and if they are healthy for us in the first place.
There are different types of cookware in the markets today, from titanium to glass to clay. There's the non-stick as well as the more traditional stainless steel and aluminium pots. Our guest almost lost her life to an asthma attack in 2014, triggered by a reaction known as polyte-tra-fluoro-ethylene. I don't know if I got that right. It's just so long. But let's go for short and say it is PTFEs. PTFEs, an inhalation fever caused by heating up the chemical on non-stick pots.
All right, now, in search of a solution to this, she founded Radiance Cookware. The company specializes in safe cookware, and more on that. Now, joining us now is none other than Nancy Ume. She is a registered nurse, public health scientist, and CEO of Radiance Cookware. Well, Nancy, good morning to you. Good to have you on Breakfast Central.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. Now, for the past 3 years, you've made it almost a personal crusade to educate Nigerians about the possible health side effects of particular types of cookware. How did you find yourself on this part?
Well, I always say illness brought me to this business, and the search for good health, the search for just a stable life brought me to Radiance Cookware, or showed Radiance Cookware to me. I was really, I was in a very dark period of my life, and I just wanted to live a normal life. I was having to go to the hospital every single time. Every week, I would spend 3 to 4 days in the hospital. So I would say illness brought me to this point of my life.
Oh, okay, okay. We're going to come to the cookware and that. But how bad was your health at the time you started looking for the triggers and the possible solutions? What really happened?
Okay, my health was so bad. So the thing is, I would say I was always healthy. Growing up, I never used to go to the hospital, and all this started when I had my first child. It was it was like a reset of my body happened, and I was in shock. It was really bad because I was thinking, okay, it was just the childbirth, and then after a while it would ease off, but it never did. And that is when I knew I had to do something, because it was taking me out of the house a lot. It was making me not take care of my responsibilities. It was putting a lot of pressure on my family, my husband, who now had to do most of the when new parents are just so confused, and then there's just only one partner. It was really bad. So that's when I knew I had to take.
We're glad something good came out of that quite unfortunate scenario. We can see pictures of you at some point with a really bad breakout on your face. Now, let's talk about the cookware. There are many types in the market, all claiming different things, from how fast and even they cook to health benefits from cooking with them. How does one know the right cookware to go for, and what are the things to consider when buying cookware?
So many things. In Nigeria, sadly, we have to consider finances, because we are the poverty capital of the world. And we have to actually look at finances first. There's so many safe cookwares. In fact, there are actually 7 of them in the world right now. If you are going to pick from that list of 7, I'll just go ahead and list them. We have cast iron, we have stainless steel, titanium, we have ceramic, we have glass, we have lead-free ceramic, which is very important because nowadays we have so many types of ceramic that are not safe. We have clay pots, and we have the new ones called the green pans. So if you are able to pick from those 7, you have to look at the ones that are in your price range. They have different price ranges, from as low as 30,000 to as high as 5 million for a set. So the thing
Wow.
is, you have to consider your family size, your finances, and just how well you can maintain the ones that you pick. Because if you go ahead and buy glass because it's cheap, you might end up buying it every 2 months if you don't know how to maintain it. So what comes to mind is, how well are you able to maintain these things? How large is the family? What do you like to cook? And how much money do you have? So there's 7 of them, and they have different price ranges. They're all safe. What we should look out for is just what we actually like to cook, how large our family is, how much money we have, and if we are actually going to take care of these pots that we're buying. So,
all right, Nancy. Now you spent some couple of years now researching and testing cookware. Now, what did you learn from all this testing and experimenting, especially based on your experience? Because if I understand correctly, you had reactions from the cookwares you used to use before.
Okay, my experience was that not every safe cookware is actually safe.
Okay.
Because I did a lot of research. I was going on, I was looking at studies, I was going on Google, I was doing all sorts. And I sort of made a list of the ones that I had to buy. And then I went to the market and I discovered that, okay, the ones that I was buying from the Lagos market, the Balogun market, for example, I would take them to the lab to test for the particular chemicals that I found out were the problems. And I would find that these so-called stainless steel at the market were actually filled with all these chemicals, and they are supposed to be safe. So what I learned, the most important thing I learned was that not every safe cookware is actually safe, especially in the Nigerian market. And that's actually what made me say, okay, I have to actually go out of the country and look for how these things are actually made and how to make them safe. Because the ones that we were finding here, I would take them to the lab. I was very hopeful that, okay, I can finally cook with this pot. And then they'll tell me, oh, sorry, this is what you list.
But not everybody can, take their cookware to the lab for, experiments and testing. So what tricks do you think people can use to know what cookware is safe and that can make healthy meals for them?
Yes, so the thing is, we have the simple baking soda test at home. There's a particular company that goes from door to door just to do this test for people. They put some baking soda in the pot, put some water, boil it, and then they tell you to taste it. You could do that test, the baking soda test. You could also look for the certifications of people that are actually selling cookwares, because in Nigeria, we do not have any government body that actually monitors the safety of cookware. So you are just going to depend on the manufacturers to give you that sort of certification that this is what we do, this is how much of, this is a chemical, this is what we use, and this is our certification to show that we are safe. You just have to, if you can't test yourself, you have to hope that the people, making these cookwares are doing it the right way, and they have the certification. So look out for the certification. Most people that actually manufacture have certifications in the packaging of their pots at the bottom. So if you buy an original stainless steel, for example, you would see certification on the bottom of the pot that says, 18/10. It shows the chromium ratio of that particular cookware. So you know that is safe, and that's going to leach very, very minimally into your food. So you have to look for the stamps on the cookwares, look for the certifications on the boxes.
All right.
Sadly, you're not required to have those here. So that is why people always go ahead and buy their cookwares from abroad. But in other countries, they're actually required to write those things on the packaging, to stamp those things on the cookwares themselves.
All right, Nancy. Apart from the packaging and the stamping and the writing and the checking what is underneath the pot, well, what should we look out for? If we suspect that, our cookware could be, having an effect, or even poisoning us?
So first of all, you need to get rid of anything that is not on the 7 items that I told you, the list. Anything in your kitchen that is not on that list is going to be a red flag, first of all. So if you are using a non-stick pot or an aluminum pot.
Okay.
That is the first red flag. You need to get rid of that, and then try and use one of the 7 safe cookwares. And even when you now buy one of the 7 safe cookwares, it is easy.
Nancy, can you just name the 7 right now for us?
Okay, the first one is cast iron.
Okay.
The second is titanium.
Okay.
Third is stainless steel.
Okay.
The fourth is lead-free ceramic.
Okay.
The fifth is glass.
Wow. Okay.
The sixth is clay, which is what our forefathers used to use.
Oh.
The normal clay pots, those old school clay pots.
Okay.
And then the 7th one is the green pots, or what they call green pans. Green pans are amazing because they actually give that same non-stick effect that we are all looking for. It's just that they are made with more eco-friendly materials, but they do not last a long time. So we're looking at 1 year, 2 years, and then you have to change them again because they're usually just aluminum lined with a more friendly non-stick material other than Teflon. So those are the 7 safe cookwares you should be using. If you can get any of those 7, then you don't even have to look too hard or work too hard to make sure that they are safe. Most times they are usually safe because it's very hard to mess up a safe cookware. So,
all right. Yeah. I just want to ask, you mentioned something about, going abroad to get, some people go abroad to get their cooking ware, and you say that there are rules governments and maybe regulatory bodies enforce. Coming back to Nigeria and some other African countries, really, what role can governments take up in this conversation about safe cookware so we don't have people getting such sad reactions like you did earlier?
Well, I don't think, to be honest, I feel like we have too many issues. We have too many problems in Africa.
But we have to find a way to tackle them. We can't keep saying there's problem and we're not doing anything.
Yeah, I agree with you in a sense, so Nancy, because there are too many problems. You're telling me there's problem with my cooking pots. My cooking pots.
Capital of the world, we haven't eaten yet, and we're looking at which pots. The thing is, the thing that encourages all this the importation of this very low quality cookwares, the purchasing power of the public. If you go ahead and bring in cookwares that are, say, 15,000 for just 1 piece, and you take it to Lagos Island and you're staying with your stock and you're not selling it, it's going to be very discouraging. So you go ahead and tell your supplier, okay, this is what I needed to do. I want to sell it 5,000. So, reduce the quality for me so that these people will buy it fast, so that I will see my money faster. So that's the problem. The thing is, the purchasing power of Nigeria is just so low. So there's really nothing. The government can just help us ensure that the people importing these things, the Nigerians bringing these things into the country, actually have a standard. All
right.
We always copy.
But I really wonder how much awareness people have, about all this, especially when it comes to the 7 categories you listed out. Are people really now aware? I'm not talking about women or girls in the kitchen, also guys, chefs, cooks, restaurants. Is there really awareness of what you've seen so far?
No, actually, the thing is, the people that actually control the country, so I'll say this: the Aluminum Association in Nigeria is holding us by the throat. You cannot tell. It's a very big company. I'm not going to mention their name. You can't tell them to not produce aluminum, because that's what our forefathers have been using anyways. Those are big party pots. They are the ones that produce it. All the aluminum pots we have, for example. You can't tell them, oh, don't produce it, because these people are responsible for some sort of development in our country. The government is actually benefiting from them. So they really can't tell them, okay, don't produce these things. The only thing the government can do is try and get some education into people, maybe from primary, from secondary school, maybe doing health classes. We do some sort of health courses in primary school, like PhD. I remember those days we used to do health sciences. We could just tell people that, when you are cooking, yes, you can cook healthy meals, but try and use any of the approved safe cookwares in the world.
All right.
Yeah, you're talking about the challenges and all that, with getting some of these things changed, but you are aware, and there are some people that are aware how to get the right cookware for themselves and their families, and you've told maybe friends and families and all of that, but why did you go ahead to start? We've been seeing pictures of that, actually, Radiant Cookware. Why did you go into business around this same issue?
Okay, the thing is, I used to document my entire life on Instagram. So when I was going through all the reactions, I would come back from the hospital and I'll be like, okay, guys, this is how I feel right now. I'm scared to cook. So I used to be very scared to cook, and I would come online, I'll come to my stories, and I would rant all day. And so the first time I bought a titanium set, it cost me a lot. And I was like, guys, can you imagine how much I spent for this? And they were like, Nancy, I don't want to, this is too expensive. And then the second time I experimented, I bought ceramic, and they were like, oh, this is so cool. Let us know what else you come up with. And then I bought cast iron. And then my entire estate, because I am an executive in my estate, and we have like a group. And then I think they watch my status on WhatsApp. So immediately I bought it and I cooked with it. And I was like, oh, I really like this pot. Everybody was like, what? You have to buy for us. Where did you buy it from? And then now I was like, okay, so now I have to buy for you. And then I bought for the first 3 people. And then, of course, I bought for my sisters. And then that's how I was cooking with it.
Voila. And there you have it. Business also, albeit, from other circumstances. Well,
people. He said, babe, you have to start bringing these things. So since the whole world now is coming to your kitchen to take your pot, because they will come to my kitchen and they will say, Nancy, I'm going with your pot. Though. And I was like, okay.
So you basically wanted to stop them coming and just taking your pot.
Yeah.
So you decided to go into business.
Oh, yes. My husband helped, and then I traveled for the first time. I was like, what? This is all that goes into making this pot? I'm like, okay, I don't know if I'm ready for this. And it took a lot of traveling. It took a lot of stress, but I eventually just decided to.
All right, Nancy. It's been such a joy to really have you on the program today. Thank you very much for joining us, Nancy Ume, on the program Breakfast Central. And clearly now it means I have to go and clear my kitchen of all those pans that are there. Well, thank you very much again, Nancy Ume, for joining us on Breakfast Central.
Having me. God bless you. Have a nice day.
And
you too.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Some sunshine in here.
Yeah.
After I read a bit about that, we're going to be talking about cookware this morning. I went into my kitchen and I looked at the pots. I only have 3 pots, by the way. So I looked at them and I checked what was written underneath. I was like, okay, I am safe. So if you're watching this for the first time, we're talking about cookware. So please go into your kitchen, check the kind of cookware you're using. You're not exacerbating your health situation or even causing unspecified health situation with the kind of cookware you use. It might seem like a fun conversation, but it's really important. We need to take it seriously. Thanks again to Nancy.
Yeah, and she also reeled out, the 7 categories of the safe ones. So you want to catch this program on YouTube much later today, and you can just listen to Nancy reel out what it is you can use, the 7 categories. Right, then we'll take a quick breather, and when we'll come back, we've got sports, we've also got entertainment right here on Breakfast Central. Stay with us. Right, and welcome back. Still Breakfast Central on News Central right here with Olisa and Felicity. Don't forget you can catch us on social media at News Central TV. Yes, Instagram, Facebook, and not forgetting our YouTube channel, newscentral.africa, and also the website. Quickly, let's go straight for some sports. We did see matches in the UEFA Europa League last night, so let's have those results for you. It was all about, well, okay, so let's start on CAF then. Africa first, as they say. Right, AS Vita Club against Al Merrek will happen today. Al Ali with Pitso Mosimane will take on Simba FC. Now, both teams have qualified for the next round from their group. Now, the other group sees Mamelodi Sundowns of South Africa, the team that Mosimane used to coach. They take on CR Belouizdad of Algeria. So a bit of a problem for them there, Belouizdad that side. But TP Mazembe, can they qualify? Looks like it's out of their hands. They take on Al Hilal Omdurman. So 4 matches today in the CAF Champions League round of group stages, last match to be played. Vita Club against Al Merrek, Al Ahly Simba of Tanzania, Mamelodi Sundowns of South Africa against Blue Stars of Algeria, and Tupiza Mazembe of DR Congo against Al Hilal Omdurman of Sudan. Right then, so let's talk about the UEFA Europa League. Well, not so much good news for the Arsenal fans. They drew 1-1 yesterday against that team called Slavia Prague from Czech Republic. Nicolas Pepe scored for the Arsenal in that game, but an equalizer came late on and it wasn't meant to be for the Gunners. Disappointing one, so which means they finished the first leg 1-1. They've got the second leg next week, Thursday. The Ivorians scored the goal, but somehow Arsenal could not hold on to it. They considered a late goal, so which means a draw for them at home against Slavia Prague. It might be tricky for the Arsenal, but let's see how it goes. Let's talk about Manchester United then. They also got a victory. United, that man there, Marcus Rashford, he scored the first goal for them away against Granada in Spain. Well, converting a penalty was Bruno Fernandes. Ever smiling, you have to say, for the Portuguese, converting that penalty. No chance for the goalkeeper. 2-0, and United take, well, you have to say, an away victory, which means they might finish the job at home next week at Old Trafford. So let's look at other results in the UEFA Europa League last night. The likes of Roma also played against Ajax Amsterdam, 2-1 victory for Roma away from home in Amsterdam, and Dinamo Zagreb lost at home against Villarreal, and just like we said earlier, Granada are losing 2-0 at home to Manchester United. There will be more sports right here on News Central at 10:30 a.m. West African time, so you want to catch the sports team, they've got everything covered for you. Right then, Felicity. Yes, and that's
time for some entertainment stories. We're not doing this alone. We have Amal joining us. Hi, Amal. What's up?
Hi, how are you? Hope you're having a lovely Friday. Hope you're enjoying yourself.
We are.
Yes,
you guys have enjoyed yourself enough, because everyone seems a bit tired of this week, given that we had a day off, in the week.
You had a day off. We did not.
Yeah, we did not, but
everybody for yourself, Amal. All right, so what's happening today in the world of entertainment?
Now, we're going to start off on a very quite serious note. Now, recently, Adesso and Banky W shared their story on being called barren on social media. And you know how social media people are always very harsh. I don't understand why, but they are what they are. And those who talked about how they underwent IVF treatments and other things they faced at the Waterbrook Church, they took the opportunity to also reveal a lot of their struggles, including losing twins, guys, losing twins. And, I think this just brought to light how much we take celebrities as supernatural beings that shouldn't go through things, and we make fun of them. Not really fun, but we don't take them seriously when they go through the same things that we go through, and things like losing kids or IVF and things like that.
We forget, basically, you took the words right out of my mouth. We forget that they are also human beings with unique challenges every day, like the rest of us.
Yeah. I mean, they both cried on stage. That was the thing.
Wow.
They both cried on stage because she lost twins. And the way she detailed it, they were pregnant, they were happy, and they were excited about it. They didn't announce it. I think the only way we knew they announced it is when Tools posted that picture of her pregnant, and then everybody figured it out. But before that, nobody knew, and even after that, nobody knew. Now, when you go through a thing like that and you're excited about having twins, and then you find out, they say they went for a check and there was no heartbeat. And then she took time, and she said she took time and prayed, and when they went back, she was expecting better results, obviously, but now the embryos were shrinking. So she has gone through all of that, and I mean, we're just glad and we're just happy that it turned up in praise, and she has a beautiful baby right now. Yeah, I'm glad that went on. But on to happier news, or should I say happier news now, ahead of the anticipated April 25th Oscar ceremony. The Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences has released a letter detailing new guidelines for the upcoming event. Now, among the list of guidelines is a request that all nominees must attend the event in person. Nothing like social media, nothing. Nominees and guests will qualify as essential workers to attend the event in LA, and nominees are expected to begin arriving in the United States from April 17th through to April 20th. In addition, that's not all. there will be no option for nominees to attend the live show via Zoom. They said, we will do everything possible to provide a safe evening for you all to enjoy in person, as well as the millions of fans around the world. And we believe the virtual overshadows all those efforts. Those who cannot attend, the Academy will accept the Oscar on their behalf. Due to COVID-19 protocols, attendees will be asked to quarantine before the show. The ceremony will hold at the LA Dolby Theatre.
All right. Okay.
I mean, this is, I feel like personally, this is because over time, you know, all these Zoom awards, they've had less viewership. Yes, less viewership. And, you know, they need to raise up their vision. So, you know.
All right. So the Oscars is coming back this year live. And so nominees have to come in person. So which means we might have the red carpet and all that. Okay.
So let me ask you guys.
Get a dress. Get a dress. Because we...
I got a dress, a really nice one, actually.
Olisa, let me put you in the spot. Who would you like to see win this year?
I can't remember the nominations. A lot of movies I do. But I think, well... Is there any movie that I have not watched that's come out? Because I have not been to the cinemas in a while, but I do watch some movies. So the categories, I can't remember them, but I will try and track to see. But obviously the big ones will get the awards.
I mean, whoever deserves it should get it.
I'm looking forward to it. That's basically. So, which means we have red carpet. You see the big stars, you know, the Flash, you know, celebrities, and the award night. So, best film, best picture, best actor.
May the best man win.
And the best woman. You know,
may the best man, literally. When you say journalist, you don't say ladies and gentlemen, you just say gentleman. So let the best man win.
All right.
Exactly. Now, coming back, bring you guys back to Africa. Now, all the Davido fans are excited as news broke that Nigerian superstar Davido, obviously, and South African rapper Fokelestic are set to release a joint EP. Now, during an Instagram live...
that was sleek, but that...
He's assured. Assurance for Davido.
And the one thing I noticed in that slide clip we just saw is the colors. And colors I'm beginning to love. I used to be a black and white and green.
We bring some sunshine. Look at me to this morning. Like, I've gone with
I can feel like you have that vibrant and...
All right, let's go straight to what's been on the timeline lately.
Oh, yes. I just wanted to put us in the mood for the weekend. This one is a daddy. You know, we call them Zaddy. We got a daddy on the screen. Let's take a look.
Life goes on, life goes on, 'cause every day another baby's born.
Oh, life goes on. Oh, life goes on. I don't know the song. All I know is life goes on. I saw it and I was just smiling. Apparently, the guy is just having fun, and we should all aim to have some fun.
He looks like a senior, quite a senior citizen.
Yeah, he's a senior citizen, an old man for that matter. So, what about you? Go have fun this weekend.
I think it was the music. It was a genre of reggae, you know. It's called Lovers Rock.
Let me sing, Joe. Oh, life goes on. Oh, life goes... What's your timeline?
Dating your friends, like friends dating, going out on dates with your friend, basically. Date friendship. So that's it's on Twitter, and this really caused a stir. And it goes, let's normalize friendship dates. And this is actually two friends, perhaps maybe colleagues, that went on a date, a proper date, you know, no strings attached, guy dressed up, lady dressed up, they're looking so, you know, all panashed up, and they go on dates, and it's caused lots of comments that, will you allow such, you know?
I love it.
It's an example of how me and you can do on friendship dates. All right, Killer Jules goes to everyone saying they wouldn't let their significant other go out with a friend like this. Sorry about your low self-esteem. Oops, maybe you need a therapist instead of a partner. Oh, come on, that's so harsh. Okay, one more comment before we go. And this one says, so I'm just supposed to be okay with my SO, that's significant other, going on a date with not me? Yeah, you all let anything fly this day. So it's basically mixed there.
Mixed reaction. It could be, it doesn't necessarily have to be the opposite sex.
Okay, so this is where we'll have to drop it on the program. It's been quite a week on Breakfast Central. Yes, indeed. And we're, like we said, it's a Friday, so we end with a banger. And thank you very much for that one.
Life goes on.
Have yourselves a great
this weekend.
Yes,
Please
indeed. Don't do what I wouldn't do, but still have fun all the same. Olisa and Felicity will be with you once again next week, Monday, same time, 8 a.m. West African time for another bumper package, bumper week of Breakfast Central. Felicity, any plans?
Life goes on. Oh, life goes on.
Let's go on that
We're not
date.
going on any friendship dates. Go and sit down. Bye. Life goes on. Oh,